Why is there so much tension between North Korea and South Korea?
Well, that question can be answered by learning about the Korean War. But before we get into how the war started, we need a bit more information.
In World War II, 1945, the Soviet Union and the US drove Japanese forces out of Korea. At the time, Korea was under Japanese control. When Korea separated from Japan, two sides were formed.
The USSR helped North Korea form a communist government. The US helped South Korea form a democratic government. The US named the dividing line between the two sides the 38th parallel.
North Korean dictator Kim Il-sung wanted Korea to be whole again. South Korea didn't want to unite under communist rule, so dictator Kim Il-sung launched an attack on the South Korean capital, Seoul. In this battle, North Korea captured Seoul. This was the start of the Korean War.
United States President Truman feared the expansion of communism, so he sent United Nations troops, led by General Douglas MacArthur, to South Korea to help defend against North Korea.
General MacArthur recaptured Seoul and pushed the North troops back and out of South Korea. Meanwhile, the Chinese warned General MacArthur to only send Korean troops near the Chinese border.
The two sides fought in Incheon, forcing UN troops to retreat to the Pusan perimeter. North Korean troops invaded the Pusan perimeter. The UN held their position and defeated the North Korean troops.
UN troops made their way from Seoul into North Korean capital Pyongyang. This battle took place across the 30th parallel in North Korean territory. The UN won the battle.
Despite China's warning, General MacArthur led the UN troops to Yalu River, which served as a border to Korea and China. The Chinese invaded Yalu River and forced the UN army to retreat to Wonju, South Korea. This battle marked the point when China became involved in the war, siding with North Korea. This battle caused some concern over whether or not this mistake would cause World War III. After China invaded Yalu River, MacArthur wanted to bomb China for attacking UN troops. President Truman, who did not want to start a war with China, told MacArthur no.
There were several battles in Seoul which took place in December to January, March to April, in late April 1951. It resulted in South Korea keeping its territory. As MacArthur's anger towards China grew, he went against President Truman's orders and went public about his desire to bomb China. This made President Truman mad, causing him to fire MacArthur for not respecting the president's authority and orders.
General William K. Harrison Jr. from the United States negotiated with Nam II from North Korea in hopes to form a truce. They met 158 times over the span of 2 years.
The two sides agreed to an armistice, which is not the same as a peace treaty. They agreed to withdraw from the newly established demilitarized zone, which was 4 kilometers wide between the two countries. No one can enter areas under control of the other side, including the air and ocean. Release prisoners of war back to their countries. And establish agencies to handle violations to the truce terms called the Military Armistice Commission.
The two sides are still not at peace today. The zones separating the North and South are heavily guarded in case one side decides to invade the other.
In conclusion, North Korea wanted to invade South Korea for land, power, and unite Korea, while South Korea fought for their freedom. The UN fought because the United States wanted to reduce the amount of communist countries. This war did not solve the original problem. The countries are still separated.